Oh, I'm sorry. Let me see. Let me check. Oh, now it's on.
Thank you.
I don't know. It's a connection issue, I think. Okay, now we're up. Okay, so I'm going to do a quick study first of the composition and color keys, color keys. Okay, I call it color rough. Let me change the sample on the right. So this is the painting I did originally with more on the edges of, and then the final production was cropped. I like the crop, but somehow you may do it a little larger. You can look at the cropping. It's mostly on the right side, right? A little bit on the left as well. So since the red foliage is the host, so this aspen tree is the yellow one. It's supporting, so you can make it smaller. There's something between the two, I'm thinking. So let's do this one, but we crop off a little bit to the right. Okay. So I'll just use a ball pen so you can see better. Maybe just turn on this. You see my pen? I can zoom a little bit and remind me to zoom out later. So I draw a little square. Let me just use a ball pen so you can see better, right? So you need to define the horizon. It's about maybe a little bit less than 1/3, but definitely not in the middle, right? Okay, and then we draw a diagonal line for this main trunk of I call it a sycamore tree, and then some minor behind. You can make one straight, maybe one. This two a little bit too parallel, so let me see okay. Actually, this early version may work. Just do one small instead of two small ones, and just one small tree, one big tree. They could be combined if you think it's the same tree, or you can come from the same root, underground. So that's we'll deal with those details later. But at this point, we want to solve the main problems, like the composition, the horizon, and then where the tree is here, and then another branch. There's also a guest and host relationship, like a main branch and supporting branch. There's some small branches like that. So this one basically a straight line, and it could be outside the frame later. So this is the front, but this just make sure. Usually people tend to paint the front too big, even though the main subject matter, the host is in the middle ground. We need to make sure this part is the main, and then just imagine that the tree is wrapped with a tarp or something, plastic or a wrap. So just paint the shape of the tree. There are some sky holes here and there, maybe a little bit, and then some leaf in front of the branch, the trunk or branch, and then it goes behind. Okay, so And you can start with pencil and then use a ball pen to modify it. You know, it's just a draft, just to allocate to map out the elements. Okay, and then there might be a mountain behind, or trees. There's some kind of green, and then the blue sky above that. So there should be some more trees, like a green foliage behind. We don't have to worry about that. So the ground is basically falling leaves and the piles of the leaves, and then the little tiger is hidden there. They don't like the standing tiger. Well, we can put it back if you like to make the tiger more. The idea, the traits we try to we started with is sociable. This characteristic, character of a tiger in Zodiac is sociable. So I depict the playful cubs of tiger cubs or siblings, maybe. Oops, I think I'm looking at it wrong. Speaking of the little cubs, it remind me of this little birds behind me. I'm monitoring the live streaming of the fledgling hummingbirds. So you can imagine the cubs of those are siblings of a same family. They're very playful on the ground, in the leaves. So that's we don't have to worry about the details at this point. We just do some color to find out the right colors. So I'm using this cool brand Watercolor. Okay. I think I already have palette. So let me zoom out so I can show you. And I also want to show the painting. Oops. Okay, so we need a lot of yellow and red. So some cool yellow, lemon yellow maybe. Actually, they have specific names. I can't remember. I just there's some what is called a lico azul yellow. I don't know what's that. It's like a ochre or something. Golden green or some brand they might call it. And some brown. I think this is the yellow ochre. Yeah, that's what we need. And some warm color, I think. Can't read it. This is dark brown. I think this is like a burnt sienna, I would say, but it's not called burnt sienna, it's something else. Can't read what language is this. Okay, some I think it's alizarin crimson permanent. Alizarin crimson should be here. Maybe that, or magenta. I think this is Q magenta. I'll just call it. And some some red. You can mix lemon yellow and the red to get the warm yellow, but there's also a like a cardium yellow, some warmer. I think we probably need that since we're going to use a lot of that. Let's find that. Let's see this one maybe. Can you read that? I cannot read the that's the anyway. This is like the warm yellow. Okay. And some green, maybe sap green. I think we can just use whatever left. And some viridian green, which is kind of opaque. And for the sky, we need cobalt. I think this tail, like a turquoise, it's a little bit too opaque, but we can mix them with some other blues. Cobalt blue. Phthalo is a very strong color, but I think if you are advanced, it's very contemporary. I used it with a little bit of gouache. I can use a little bit of gouache here to mix with what is the phthalo to get a very bluish sky. Green blue sky, like you see on the handout, I think. So I mix a little white to get my own sky blue from phthalo. And you can put a little turquoise to enhance that. So this is very delicious. Like we call it apple, not apple blue, some green blue kind of color. If you add a little more purple, it would be the mountain color. So this is the sky color. I think I didn't do the sky first. I think I just kind of negative painted because I want to keep the vibrancy of the yellows. So, but you can do that first if you want. Just but you have to plan ahead. You have to draw out the shape of the tree first. We'll just try a different approach also. So the approach later could be different. See a very nice fitting here. Okay, I'm going to do the leaf. I just use pure color just to key the colors, just to get some inspiration of color. Then you can mix some red to get the. I realized that we also have some. We need also to start with the lemon yellow. That should be So if you have all the different yellow and the oranges, the color would be the best. Normally the top is a little cooler and then warmer in the shady area. And the ground also the same color. The yellow is cooler near the horizon or getting farther away from the viewer, so you can have some more red and then you can dot the dry leaves with brown or something like that. Oh, the mountain behind is a little bit purple into the, I call this swimming pool color that I tried to get first. You see, if you add this swimming pool color into green, it will make a nice distant green or distant mountain, blue mountain. Could be a little purple in there, and the trunk of the tree should just just kind of brown. I tried to make it dark because it's in a shady area. They could be a little bit light later when we deal with the larger painting. So just do a little bit, and the light should be from top, and I'm not sure left or right. Let's just say left if we don't know. So put a little dark shade in the on the right side. Or you can do some green. But this kind of green should have a lot of brown in it. This is autumn, not the spring. I also squeeze out the foliage, the aspen leaves. Anyway, I didn't save that well, so we have to. You can do this light yellow first, I think, later. So we can make some mistakes and think that the procedure to plan what we're going to actually do later. So this part is yeah, I try to use complementary colors like purple against yellow, that kind of to instead of using black, I use contrasting complementary colors to do the dark or the branches. Instead of using black, we use purple and bronze, and you can also add purple in the shady part of the leaf later. Like this under part of the leaf, something like that. So just a quick study of color would help to get some idea of the procedure and the theme. You need to make sure the composition of different color, like this this corner here is cool, with some blue, some purplish trunk, with some red, but basically it's blue and yellow, right? There's no orange, maybe a little bit brown in there, but I try to exaggerate that on my sketch here, just to remind myself. So the main probably more than 2/3 actually is the warm reds and the oranges, yellows, some medium earthy colors on the ground. Okay. Now let's put this aside, and we'll go for this. I haven't taken out the painting I did last week here. Let me remove that. So this is the painting we did in last class. I'm using this pad because I don't have to stretch. If you use the loose pages, you need to put it on a drawing board or something, a plexiglass I usually use, and use masking tape to fix it. So this is the regular watercolor paper. It's a cold press rough grain. Okay, and so today we're going to do, this is a 12 by 16 inch. But the composition is only 13 inch. So I just draw a line, pencil line, just cut out to the. You can have a little wider composition, but not too horizontal. So then you have to change. I do have some elements. If you want to do the whole composition, you can look at the image on the corner on the lower left. So you can include some more on both sides. Okay. So I just draw some directional lines. So this one is right on the edge. You can include it or cut off later, but I usually do a little bit bigger than what's required, just give room for bleed or cropping for the printing process. And even formatting, maybe some extra is good. So this line roughly is the horizon. To keep it below 1/3, maybe. Okay, and then we draw this tree right from here. The trunk goes left first, the root, and then turns to right. That holds the weight a little bit better. The root is on this side, on the right side, right? And then you turn, it goes up. So try to feel the weight, right? So the tree is lean but not falling. Just to plant some leaves, foliage in the front of the trunk also. So the trunk is not like a cut up, like a tree was cut up in the middle, you know. So the trunk, usually in Chinese landscaping, you will see the trunk, complete trunk. It's a style, I think. Don't know who started. Maybe someone's my good friend, Professor Yang. We had an article saying it started very early, but most typically in the Ming dynasties, literary painting, they start to copy each other, not from nature. So emphasize on the interest of brush and the ink itself, not what is representing. So I try to pay more attention on the negative space when making this crossing our branches. So look at this gesture. It's like a person, you know. Try to show some elegance here, like a S-shaped, and some maybe just a straight line, a little room to the right also. Try to feel the movement of the energy flow, the qi. Vary the distance of each arc. So, and also you can make angular turns instead of just the loops, curves. You can make angular turns like the Song Dynasty, Southern Song Dynasty master does. And I try to do not paint each stroke like outlined, not double line, just a single line, and think about the calligraphy. Just leave room for calligraphy. Okay. This tree maybe. So we just paint all the way to here. Okay. And this back forest or mountain, the blues. I don't have to define. That's a darker drawback, and then lighter sky in the air. So my gouache is getting too dry, so I'm going to just paint the sky first. So I will paint some dampen some with water. Dampen the paper with water first. I leave those red foliage, orange foliage area mostly dry, but you can have a little bit, water, but not evenly. There, you just leave them dry, and you can do this part more wet because this is softer. You want to mistify, fog out. So that's when you want the softer edge, just to wet it first. And here, I probably do some yellow here. I'll leave the paper dry for the trunk, so I don't want to get too wet. Anyway, I'm gonna start. We can test the color from this area, maybe. Okay, just blocking in some of this, a mix of any white gouache color with a little bit phthalo will create this color. Very nice swimming pool kind of sky color. Okay, you can use a clean, just a water brush to soften the edge a little bit. You know, if the paper is too dry, you can just bring that down a little bit. And I try to leave some white, but you know, the white should not be white. It should be what the yellow ochre. But the ochre with blue would be green, right? So you want to have a little bit magenta, maybe to build a little bit. It's getting complicated, huh? Let me just do it here. A little bit magenta to add a little bit purple. But don't evenly spread. There's some part of that, and then you can use a different brush. I will use a little bit. Whoops, I got some other color there. Okay, just dilute it with you can use a little gouache with okay, this is bluish. Yeah, just red, yellow, and blue. A little bit change of color. And you can paint a little bit something in the shady area, maybe, and for sky holes. And then I'll just paint on this area. Okay, let's do a little bit more of that ochre. You don't have to avoid the trunk. I think it just goes all the way. And this area should be a little darker, so you can add a little bit darker blue and green to it to make it a little greener. Maybe a little meridian. But this is in the haze. A lot of swimming pool color or turquoise color. Just you can add if you want to mute it, add a little brown, purple, something like that. Okay, so try to see if it works. Okay, now I want to contrast the leaf with cool colors. So this color is pretty diluted, so you can just paint the whole thing, and you squash later to recover if needed. Negative painting the shape is sometimes if you need. So the basic color is this this opaque green color, and you can add little red to make it purple. Probably too dark. It will dry lighter, I hope. Okay, I try to make this into a shape like a forest or something. Okay. I think I'm losing some white here. You can recover with a paper towel. Okay, let's bring down to the bottom of here. I need to have some aspen, so I'll just use cool yellow. So at this point I paint only the color, not the shape. Or oops, that's a little too warm. You can go here. That's what the color will be here. If you don't want to show the stroke, you can use splatter. I try to split the brushes, so it give me some bits of white pockets in the stroke. I will go outside the frame on top. Don't stop. Just go beyond that. So this part should be cool. Just use lemon. Keep it cool. Okay, I'll just wash the whole area like that, because the lemon is very light. You can easily change it later. And I need to break this horizon line here. That's very important. I should have leave it here. That's what I missed. Maybe just make it green then. Yellow plus that breaks the horizon there. And you can have this color all the way here. There's some bits of that. That's about. Okay, now let's do the ground color. We start from the light yellow, and then we'll add dark for the shades. Oh, the tiger. Yeah, we since we didn't save the white, so we have to use opaque. That's what I use. I use acrylic actually in the end to cover the white I need. So that's okay. I can just forget about the tiger for now. Okay. I'll just put all the yellow on the ground. And you can then add little red. You can add brown. Actually, the leaves on the ground is a little brownish. But don't do the little dots yet. Okay, just the light color. Some earthy color, maybe. Okay. That top is also this tree should be going out, even should be higher than the background, right? So this should go out there. Okay. Now I'll dot those leaves with dry brush. And try to. Yeah, you have to better have the leaf. I mean the branches first, so you know where to put those leaves. Right? You should maybe do that later. There are some greens. I just put a little turquoise tail to make it green. Okay. This distant trees we can use some brown with green later, maybe to make it dark. Right now I want to have some oranges. If you want to have very spontaneous look, you want to paint it into the damp. Otherwise, it will be a little bit stiff. The falling leaves, so I'll do it later. It's red. So we want to do the light. Painting the light is very important. So it's some red on the lower part of the foliage. Let's start with light yellow. This two trees meets here, so we want to distinguish with a different temperature. This is cooler on the other side. Actually, this is behind, so it's a little bit tricky. I'm not sure I did it correct in the original, actually. It is a two-dimensional painting, so as long as it look beautiful, it doesn't matter which is in the front or back. It could be, I was wrong, maybe this green should be in the front. Anyway, it looks like this branch should come to the front, but I didn't realize that until now. Anyway, that's the scientific thinking, or rational thinking. We want to be more emotional in this kind of painting. Okay, so you can make it make this layer to dry by using a hair dryer if you want. I try to manage my time, see if I can do something with the thick paints, so I don't have to wait it and it will not bleed. So the next layer we're going to do is very thick. You can start to add those darks. So maybe we should do the trunk. Create some dark areas here. We don't need so much blue here, right? So just add those. This is a mixture of burnt sienna and this pearl red, I guess. Some yellow maybe also left over there. Goes outside the frame. Don't be afraid to do that. Okay. It could have a little bit echo the other side, but not too much here. Mostly the red, the warms should be here. Less water if you want to avoid blossom. Blossom is a kind of effect you want if you put water onto wet paints. You will create a blossom. Usually, most Western watercolors do not like that, but some Eastern or some other artists may favor that. But if you put water, it will create more like. Just put in some variational color here too. Just try to get some activity. Okay, let me use a stiff brush. I'll start to draw the trunks on this side. This I see some brown and mixed with purple. You can mix blue and green or magenta to get this color. Okay, the trunk, it goes. Try to take advantage of the corner, so don't try to paint really tight sometimes, and then get loose. So there are two entry points here. Let me see. Actually, it's easier to look at the painting on the lower left, so to understand where the tree is coming. Because after cropping, there's two entries. You cannot distinguish which is the host, which is the guest. So I'm going to follow the original here, so you can clearly see this is the trunk. Okay. It's on this side, I think it's more vertical, but it has the tendency to lean to the left, but it's more like very subtle. So, but you want to keep it straight, aspen tree kind of. But I don't do it with the white bark, because aspen tree is actually very light. We want to keep some color saturation I need to keep it warm. And we can add blue later to the shady area later. So you can start with medium brown and then go cooler with dark. Okay. I want some warm here. See lots of oranges there in the light. It goes down this branch. Okay. Make those arc angular. Add some blue, just make it dark gray, blue. Let's do this. Calligraphy. This could be a back tree overlapping, so this is relatively lighter. And you can do a tree that goes up now. I just make it cooler, so it goes, push it back. It could be another tree overlapping here, so it goes like that to create more depths here. So this one now can go behind the reds. Maybe, I'm not sure. The ground, actually the distance is determined by which plant it's rooted. So don't go to, if you're not sure, just avoid defining it, because people can easily define this kind of arrow and then say, well, you're wrong, because this cannot go behind, because the root is here, you cannot go, that root is there, so this branch cannot be behind that, right? There are, a lot of this kind of error could happen. If you want to avoid it, just to make it ambiguous. Ambiguity is the best sometimes in art. Illusion, delusion, if it helps, it's also important to keep. It's too warm, so I want to start to cool it with the green blue. Don't repeat exactly. It's, okay. This leaves. Nice feeding. The hummingbirds feeding behind me. They're going to leave the nest by this time next week. We have seen last time, right, in our class. So this is the second. I don't want to repeat same stroke. This could be cut off, so let's add a little bit. Okay. Okay, this actually is a little bit too dark. I realized that because this is not the focal point, so I just blot it a little bit. Okay, let's do this one. I cannot really see my design anymore. I just remember the tendency is going this first, right, and then going this way. And you can adjust according to the situation. Notice that rhythm of your branch, like the angular and the different section. Each section vary the length, the angle, and the length of each section. This part could be a little cooler, I think. This area should be shady, so let's add just a little darker brown or purple even. Okay. To spread out a little bit. Add the different colors to the usually to the lower part of the branch. I mean the foliage. Okay, now the second tree. Don't evenly divide the space. Try to create depth. I'm not going to follow this original design. I just go with my situation here. Okay, you have to consider the whole, like here I can break this leaf in the front, or just to leave it, or just be a little careful with those to keep the momentum. Okay, I'm looking at the image in the Zoom screen, so I can see the composition better than actually on my table. I think the tiger should be actually here. This area should be this dark. Just color. Not sure what I'm doing. It should be a little bit dark green on the corner, so it will have a contrast between the two corners. But this corner is a little solid than the other side. And we can have some shadow color going here. And start to do some grass. Try to avoid the pure green. I think you can add some brown to mute it. Okay, let me. What time? We need to start thinking about our main the tigers. I would enlarge the reference pictures to show you what we got in the. Oops. Sorry, what I did. Maybe we can just look at this one, I guess. You can see some pictures here. That's the reference. I think it's lion, or not exactly sure. It could be leopard or tiger, but same kind of cat. It has falling leaves on the forehead, something like that. So it basically is hidden. We need to suggest that, so we can get some dark. Let's just start with orange color, orange yellow. It's already too much orange, so it's kind of hard to, because it's hidden anyway. Let me just do the head part. If you don't know what to do, you can start to use gouache to recover some white, some just opaque color to cover some. So let's see, this one should be. I like the standing one. Let me see if we have reference on this one. Kind of like standing up. This belly, very cute. So I'll do this one standing up, maybe another one in this one with leaves falling on his head. So this one's first. Okay, the belly is white, so we'll just do a little bit white. Oops, that's a lot of water there. And then I'll do this one. Just on this side. And some face. Just leave it and let it dry. So another challenge is the little leaves. I think I overdid it in the original, so we may not need to do all the dots. I just maybe a little bit spatter here. It already feels pretty much like that. So you can do some dots like a purple or red or I think maybe just brown, because we don't want to use too much dark on the foliage. Just do a little bit like check marks or something. Created some kind of pattern that will define those leaves. But you don't want to make it even, so there's a grouping thing. You want to make some areas more dense, some sparse. I think too busy already. It's hard to do something shapeless, right? But it's also a good place to do it to more expressively, like artistically. You can add some cool color to the warm, or warm to the cool, just to kind of vary a little bit. Okay, I'm going to work on this now. The skin is really, the back is on the other side, so you don't really see that much. Just the inside, the belly is kind of light yellow, so you don't use too much color there. And then the head, it's looking up, so just a suggestion, a big mouse. We don't have to do that. Just suggestively. Actually, the mouse is very distinctive, just like the little bird's mouse. You know, the yellow mouse is really cool. So we may put some pink color there. I'll just use a little bit diluted color in the mouse, make it smile, and okay. For the eye, I think we just need some darker brown, not black. So near the top of the head. The nose, it should be a little bit red, I think. And you can use brown. Oops, that's well, they're hidden, so you just need to suggest the tiger there, but maybe this is a falling leaf. It should be quite small, this Okay. Just put a little stripe there. The eye, the shadows. Not really see anything. Okay, maybe we can make the background a little different by using green field. Make a distinction between the tiger here and the background, so you can see better. I use color contrast instead of value. Okay. The foliage in front is not so different than the back here, so I need to maybe define those leaves. There's little falling leaves behind, so this yellow leaves separate from this.
Henry?
Yes?
Can you zoom into the tiger so the participant can see better?
It's not really.
It's harder, right? The tiger in the.
Yeah, I know. It's just a suggestion. Look at the handout maybe. Did you resend the handout, because the reference may be more helpful in the handout. Yeah, I know I just try to squint a lot just to kind of, because the game is like a hidden, hide in the front, so it's really not supposed to paint like I did earlier with the. You can follow this version if you want. That's very clear, right? But this thing is too obvious. You don't like it. I think so too. So you want to change to hide it. But if you like, you can make it more realistic, distinctive. Okay. Just you may do a very realistic leaf, like a maple, or with this kind of shape, star shape, or sycamore leaf or something, just to identify so this color would make people to think more, they are falling leaves, not just the splatter of are watching the splatters, so it will not be. In traditional painting, you know what, we would draw those little with shapes of triangle or circle, or kind of abstract pattern of leaves, right? you can do that if you like. So I'll do triangular shapes for this leaves, and then maybe star shape with lines. If you have time, but that will be more towards the Eastern painting. So you can paint those patternized according to the book, the mustard seed manual of painting, right? I try to put a little cast shadow. Oops, I think I lost my arm here. Okay, I'll just bury it. So it's not standing, it's just sitting. Just raise the head, not standing so high. I make it I just cut off the lower part of the body again. Okay. I think these dots are really not necessary to define too much. Just the impression if the feel is leaves. That's okay. Okay, just disperse a little bit, and you can put a little golden color, just a little bit, not to the extent of the main tree, but a little bit autumn color to echo that. Okay. Just add a little trunk maybe here. I see this trunk kind of cool on the edge of this. Maybe too much. Too crowded. Okay, just to add more depth, if this is too flat area, you can add some orange and reds. Looks like too spring, huh? Yeah. I have no idea how to make it look more autumn here. Maybe the trunk could be a little bit brown or something. Maybe turn back to this one. this final version here. Let's see what we can improve. Maybe a little more saturated. I'm not sure if it's already too busy. Okay, this tree could be a little more solid here. And falling leaves. Try to keep the luminancy, the light. So if you paint too much, you will lose that transparency. It becomes oil painting. Okay, finally, I think the horizon could be a little bit darker, maybe to contrast out the tiger here. I also like the kind of aerial perspective idea. So you want to push it very back, so it's not too dimensional. Okay, and some leaves on the forehead. Okay, I think I'm gonna stop and just sign it. Where to sign? Maybe this is the only place, or you can do it here. I think maybe this side. So my new painting is a little bit lighter somehow here, but I think this is overdone. Just too busy there. Original. I wish to correct that. You can have a little bit color variation on the trunk, but I'm not going to fast too much. Just a silhouette of the trunk is fine. You can have light and the shadow effect or something, even more texture if you have, if you like. I think it's already got everything. Should be fine. Looks believable. It's okay. Okay, just a little bit leaf like falling under the root and so. Okay, in the sign with red, I think. just to echo that. Draw my H logo. Okay. Wait a second. 20 seconds. Alright. The white could be a little bit. You can glaze it. That's how it works. You cover the white, and after it dries, you can color it anyhow you like. It don't have to be snow white, right? So we can use a little blue. Let me see. Blue color. This little sky blue color. Make it cool here. And some yellow maybe. Soften it. So it's not so snow white. It's too blue maybe. Okay. Lift it a little bit. I'll zoom in, but you won't really see any details. There is no detail. If you try to do detail, you will miss the landscape idea. Just that's how much detail you got. Not really much. Right. Just a little activity, that's all. I think we call it 点景. I don't know how to translate that. It's to spot the scenery, not to, it's still the part of the scenery, not the like a portrait. Right? Okay, I think we can make the arm a little bit back here, or maybe even, I'm not sure, this is a good idea. It's too much. So a lot of back and forth with gouache. If you start using gouache, you can do anything. Like oil, you can recover it. And you can cover up if you don't like. Okay, just do a little bit. I'll stop. Okay. So I think it's a time to critique if you like. We have 15 minutes left. We can open voice and spotlight those who want to show progress in our. Just add a little bit. I think it's too much.
Shirley also raised her hand. I don't know if Shirley has a question.
I don't have a question. Is it time for critique?
Yeah. Okay. Let me add slide. All right. Good. Shirley.
So
Okay.
my problem is I use masa paper, and it all the tiger tore.
Oh.
So I can only wait for it to dry.
Yeah.
Have you used masa paper?
Yeah.
before?
I have similar. We have a kind of papers for computer printing. I think it's similar to that. And I did buy masa paper. It's machine made. Is this for computer printing that we got?
No, actually, I bought it from Cheap Joe's.
Oh, Cheap Joe's.
Years ago, and I
For
never used it.
printing, for print
Well,
making.
actually, it's a hold on.
Yeah, I know that it's from the early 70s. Frederick Wong used it and wrote a book about it. Since then, many people use that for painting. But they
So this paper was recommended by an artist who I really admire, Cheng Chi.
Yeah, he's the
And he
living
used to
artist.
use that to do his
Yeah, he
watercolor
crumbled his painting paper,
yes,
right?
he did. He crumbled, but he also used masa paper, which is machine made. But it's,
Yeah, the reason they crumble it is because it's too smooth. So if we have, if you like masa paper, you should like every kind of Oriental paper, because in 70s there's not much many choices. So people use that for watercolor painting, and you must mount it, right? So it's very thin. Yeah. Anyway, your tree is nice with the 3D lighting effect. The trunk is a very traditional, calligraphic, very good. The color could be a little pure, I think, to get the vibrancy of the sound, but it's a very classic, the one you got. I like that the background mountain. Maybe you put some more trees on the horizon, some more vegetation, because otherwise it looks like Southern California. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we got some question in the chat. I think the perspective is excellent. Okay, thank you. Okay, Laura's. Yeah. Wow. I think it's a very nice contrast between the warm and the cool. The foliage could be a little kind of dispersed in a rhythmic way, so the leaves on the ground or on the trees has some grouping of large, medium, and smalls. So they're not just the leaf group, but the leaf cluster, or I will say some kind of combined shapes that could be done. You can break the whole block with some darks, maybe some darker branches could separate them, could separate the sections, into sections. And also you can use even the sky color to make some holes to separate them. So you have the whole shape, like I mentioned the tarp. That's right. You cover the whole shape, and then you kind of cut some holes or separate them with some branches. That would make the tree more rhythmic, more interesting. So they're not just a single block. The foliage on the ground should have some kind of a rhythm. So you can I think you have some dots. When you dot those, you make like 5, 3 of them together. 2 separate. Vary the intervals a little more, and make some close, some separate. Okay.
Okay.
The rhythm, yeah. The tree, the yellow tree on the right is good. The color could be a little stronger, so it's not so faded. That's it. Yeah.
Thank you.
The tree actually should be in the front somehow, but you can use opaque to cover the edge overlapping with the background, to just recover some of that with opaque yellow. Maybe we'll try that. You can, if you could.
Okay.
Time to use opaque, also, and dark. Yeah. Okay. Next person, we have Benitas. Okay. Very good. It looks like by a road, something trail. That's nice to lead the eye into the painting. It's very good. Or by riverside reflection. Anyway, that line that helps to separate the 2 sides of the trees. The 3 trees on the back is a little bit too equal distanced somehow, but I do see your effort to vary the angles, and so they're still different. That's good. That's good. Yeah, the combined shape on top could be a little varied more. The little tree could maybe more into the right a little bit, left. I mean, the little tree on the, so they're not just a lollipop shape. It's a little bit varied. Okay. The trees on the left is nice. The foliage could be a little more. You can, since it's like more like a oriental style, you can draw some leaves with outline, to and then fill in with some yellow, maybe just a few leftover leaves on the branches. Would be nice, but you can leave it so like the early winter, even without bare branches are very, very beautiful. You have done. Okay. Very good. Yeah, the top maybe trim off. You don't need so much sky. Maybe just cut off like that would be good. Yeah. The shadow is a little bit too heavy behind the tree. Maybe just use a little opaque white adding to the green to recover some light part. Just break up some the shadow with some light. Yeah. Okay. So the tiger, I see the white belly, chest there. Good. Very good composition. Very, very nice. The grass on the front, very nice. Thank you. I like the purple-ish brown trunk you got. Okay, here, yeah, I think, let me just do the color review. D. Wow, very nice, very good. Very sunny. I feel that the warm sunbathing day.
I don't know if I get enough down here.
You can make it overlapping a little bit more, so that you can extend the foliage, the falling foliage into
falling. Okay.
The middle part could be a little filled up, and then the yellow and the orange kind of create a depth, contrast effect. Look at the original, you can get some idea of to use the orange to squeeze out the yellow a little bit. That's probably
If I did enough here, every time I did it, it just got,
yeah, it's it's easy to get overdone. I think it's enough for me. Yeah. Just the ground with a little bit extension. Maybe we have a concentration on the right, and then left. Yeah. Then just kind of create overlapping and some disperse of the leaves.
Okay.
Right. Just spread out a little bit to the corners, and just kind of spread out from the concentration of for the pile with some scattered groups.
Were the tigers okay? I didn't want to do the front.
Yeah.
I thought they could just look out.
You don't have to do. You can leave it just like that, because in Oriental, in Eastern painting, we leave a lot of voids. You can consider that as just let the viewer to fill up the information. So yeah, it's a very clean composition. I like that. I think mine is too busy. You solved my problem.
Well, I
in
like
the
my
original.
tree here.
Yeah,
I'm starting to like it.
I like the vertical and the horizontal structure of that, and then the diagonal, and yeah, it's a beautiful composition. So just a little bit finishing up. If you just look at you can cool it down by looking at first on the wall, and then it will tell you what to do.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't rush it. Now you should slow down. In the beginning, we should capture the momentum, and in the end, we need to slow down. Yeah. Okay. Oh, this is Diana's. Okay. The tree could be a little larger somehow. I think compared to the tigers. You could, the tree is a little too small. The red tree with this much foliage, the tree should be bigger. Somehow you can maybe extend. Oh, you don't have much room. So the horizon is a little too high to begin with. But I do like the tree on the left very much. So maybe you can just cut off the tiger to make it independent. Two paintings. So maybe it looks like you have a nice, the green tree itself is nice. Anyway, I like the how you treated the grass, very abstract, semi-abstract way. The foliage is a little too heavy-handed, so yeah, that's maybe we cannot maybe change that unless you change the color, the hue into greens. You can use opaque color. Even in this case I would use like a gouache or acrylic, just make it green to cover some green or yellows. So the red would be smaller, and you can make the tiger a little smaller so the tree doesn't look too small to them, and to hide them.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I like the purple mountains behind, very nice, and the sky.
I love purple mountains.
Yeah, the mountain and
because
sky.
I grew up in the Blue Ridge.
Right. The tree on the left and the mountain in the back, and the greens are very nice. The red is just a little too strong. It should be more yellow, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next. We got a hand without a picture there, but I always show Megan. Megan, right? Okay. Add spotlight. Replace spotlight. Megan. Okay. Very good as usual. Yeah, I think your foliage is very well done. With just the alternating colors of the light and the dark, and some soft wash, but the falling leaves are good. For the 3 trees on the back are varied in thickness and angle. Very beautiful, very rhythmic. I like that. The whole tree, yeah, it's nice. The front tree is good. The aspen tree, very nice. This last branch on the left is too parallel to the edge. You can break that. You can just make some more branches, maybe somehow to vary that. Maybe on the left, on the right side, and just a little more branch. Just yeah, too straight, too straight. You can add some more yellow also with the branch. Also, the branch, horizontal branch, could have more twigs. A little, because it's in the front, it could have more twigs than the back tree. The back tree is enough. Perfect. Yeah, just the front could be a little green, more green leaves on the lower branch, and some yellow behind, and more branches to finish. Wonderful, wonderful job. Nice sky. Very good. Thank you. There's some noise there. I don't know.
Is that your bird?
No.
Was the noise from your bird?
No, I don't have sound from the bird's nest.
Ping, if you want to show your work, you need to put on the video. Thank you. Yeah,
let me mute everybody. Just I think maybe Megan's background has some noise. Okay, now we are fine.
Yes, we're fine.
Okay, let me. How do you speaker view? Okay, I got ping on the spotlight. All right, the situation could be a little stronger. My first impression is the composition is no problem. The tiger is a little bit. I think you used outlined ink, right? Ink outline. It could be a little more colorful than ink drawing somehow. It's look like a black and white tiger. So you can use maybe opaque white, yellow, to redo the color of the tiger. You can add transparent color on top of the foliage you already have, just to add some saturation, I think, on the foliage. The green on the front is probably enough, I think. Just a little bit yellow and orange color or red on the tree, a little stronger. I think it will make it sing a little bit more. It's now the tiger is a little bit too defined somehow. But it's a different approach. Maybe people will like this more than the obscure tiger. But I would definitely add some color to the skin of the tiger. Even you don't have to cover it up with the leaves. Okay, very good composition.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And more saturation on the tree would be good. Okay, I got okay here rosemary. Very nice, very good. I like the broken stroke leaves you got on the main tree. Very subtle background, beautiful mountains with purple and the haze, all that. Very good, very good. Beautiful, just enough texture. I mean, I don't need to get close up, but I see the tiger in the falling leaves there. Very good. Maybe the trunk on this yellow tree could be a little bit. The upper part could be the same as just the kind of lost in the front in the foliage. The foliage could be a little stronger too, just a little more saturated to balance. Just a little bit on this right side. Maybe a little defined on top. Yeah, the bottom part is fine. just the straight one. Yeah, a little bit definition would close the painting, so that we have a good complete painting on the left side. The right side could be just a little bit close to I'm not sure how to say this, because you have a 4-page composition, so it's kind of yeah, so maybe more complete, I will say. If you don't trim it, just complete that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Henry.
Thank you, Rosemary. Very well done. Excellent. You've done excellent. Your watercolor is very advanced.
Thank you.
We are all beginners here, but you are advanced student. Okay. Any other hands? I don't see any. Let me go back to mine and just drop out. We have passed the time, right? Okay.
Yes, we have.
Okay. So any announcement you want to make maybe for the
we do have a special session on Saturday, April 23rd. Henry is going to introduce a new style of painting, chinoiserie, and the topic will be wildflower and pollinators. Starting from May, on Wednesdays afternoons, we will have more sessions in the style of chinoiserie painting.
So
registration is open for the Saturday, April 23rd, 2 p.m. Eastern Time class.
So we'll have a 2-week, like we have 2 classes in 1 week, right?
That particular class, yes, April 23rd, we have 2 classes. And then May 3rd is the last session of the
May
fusion
4th,
watercolor painting. That's the Tuesday series. Starting from Wednesday, May 4th, 2 p.m., I believe, we will start this Wednesday series of chinoiserie painting.
So that we have 2 classes. We have over 2 classes for 2 weeks. And then we'll move to Wednesday only. Yeah. Great.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your participation and support.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Happy painting, everybody. See you next week. We'll do
bye-bye.
bamboo. Very excited.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.